I told you I'd take you through the typical weight loss story. Here it is. The typical weight loss story is this. Step 1, get disturbed. Now, why did you join the program? I'm going to tell you why you joined the program. You joined this program because you were frustrated, you were upset, you were confused, you were overwhelmed, you were afraid, maybe you were fed up, or maybe you woke up one morning, you looked in the mirror and you said, come on, Scott, you're capable of more than this. You're worthy of more than this. Right? Here's what we do know. Thomas Edison told us this years ago. Restlessness is discontent, and discontent is the first necessity of progress. Very rarely does something move unless it's disturbed at some level. I don't like the last part. Show me a thoroughly satisfied man, I'll show you a failure. I don't like the word failure. I got my own definitions of that. But I do agree with this. Very rarely does somebody move unless they're upset. Well, let's talk about Dr. Abraham Maslow. He also shared with us that all human behavior is based on your desire to avoid pain or to get pleasure. We all do more to avoid pain than we do to get pleasure. Do you guys remember the smoking example that I brought up the first time I was in here? And there was somebody in here, I can't remember who was a smoker. Happens every time. I ask, is there somebody in here who was a smoker, smoked a lot, now no longer smokes? Yeah, and the example was, when you went in, before, when you were a smoker, if you hit your cigarette, you'd be upset, right? But now that you go into the smoke-filled environment, that's very painful for you. It's very irritating. And it's the same behavior, but there's two different associations. So step 1 is we get disturbed. And the fact that we get disturbed, we take action. Taking the action means you enrolled in this program. Not only did you enroll in this program, but you made the commitment. I'm going to show up every Monday night at 5 o'clock for the lectures. I'm going to meet with my trainer twice per week. Maybe you started preparing food in advance, maybe grocery shopping on the same day. I don't know what the case may be, but you took action. And in fact, the fact that you took action, guess what happened? You got results. And you guys just shared this with me. You said, you know what, I feel different, I'm thinking different, I'm more toned, maybe the clothes fit different. And as a result of getting results, now what happens? Pain reduces. And here's why I'm bringing this up. The reason why I'm bringing this up is this. What most people do to initiate the pain or the change process is this. They start because they're disturbed or they're upset. And what happens is they fall into a trap. The goal isn't to keep you in pain all the time, but I want to explain something. Because if pain reduces, here's what happens. You lose your drive. And if you lose your drive, you stop taking action at the same level. There's a term in the field of change psychology called overconfidence. And I call my clients on it all the time. Here's what happens when somebody's overconfident. They're moving along, they're doing great, they're totally in action, they're nailing their goals, and then somebody invites them out to dinner. And they go out to dinner with some friends. They have a nice dinner, they order dessert, they have a couple drinks, and then they get up the next morning and they get on the scale, and you know what happened? Nothing happened. So they think, ooh, I got away with one, right? So then you start doing the math. Let's see, I went out to dinner, I had one dessert, I had 3 drinks, and you start playing that game, how much can I get away with without moving in the wrong direction? That's what I mean by overconfidence. That's what I mean by stop taking action at the same level. And if you get caught up in that trap, then it's repeat, then it's disturbed again. That's the typical weight loss story. How do we get out of this? How do we get away from it? Really 2 ways, and only 2 ways. Now, let me share this with you. This is from Dr. Robert Cooper. And Robert Cooper really studies the brain. I mean, that's his work. He studies the brain. He says, good and great are the enemies of possibility. He says, the brain relishes the repetitive comfort of being good, but it craves the accolades of being great. The danger is that once we achieve great, we stop growing and instead automatically clutch our trophies and try to hold on to our ranking only to fall. It's a story of executives, companies, countries, and civilizations. The reasons are hardwired in the brain and nervous system. Exceptional leaders and teams see it for what it is, a trap, and relentlessly grow beyond great to possible, surpassing the best that they've ever given to their work and their world. So how do we get out of it? Here's how we get out of it. Let me share this story with you. Here's a